Welcome to the fifth and final podcast for anybody watching who is thinking of being part of this year's Medfringe. It's the first one that's been put on. We're very excited about it. The man behind it all, Ron Riddell, who, quite frankly, I know you know your stuff from working there at Spotlight's Theatre in Chatham, but it is you who's chosen to put the spotlight on Kent. So what should an act be considering where they're thinking, who is it they want to see them be a success at Medfringe?
So coming to Medfringe, you've got to know what you want to do and who it is you want to get in front of. If you're coming just for bums on seats, that's fine. Then you need to get the word out there about your show so that everybody knows about it and everybody is going to come. If you're coming here for something different, as most people going to any Fringe Festival are, then you've got to know what you're wanting to achieve so that you know who you want to approach.
Who might that be?
Okay, so if you're looking for some accolade, maybe you want some people to come down and review your piece. So finding out about what reviewers there are around, reaching out to them. Get yourself a good press release, something that really explains your background, not necessarily your background, but the background for your show, the thing that makes your show relevant, the thing that makes people go, I want to go and see that. We call them the unique selling points and the strong selling points. You want all of those in a good press release that you can send off to local newspapers. When it's a quiet news day, there are people that will come out and see your show and give you a write-up. There are lots of small local publications as well. Things like the Rochester Radar has just started. They go and see stuff and will give you a fantastic write-up. We've got the likes of local authority. They come and review stuff. It's a great way of getting a couple of things in the local perspective. We've also got those bigger national organizations coming and reviewing some things. So make sure you reach out to them. Reach out to me at Fringe Hub and I can send your information, if I've got it, out to those other those bigger organizations. But without the information in our inbox, without the information on my desk, I can't share about your show. We've got some things that we're doing behind the scenes instead of in terms of our PR, where we are pushing all the shows forward that we have the most information about. Without the information, we can't share it. You have all the information about your show. You can share it where you think, and by all means, we'll put you in touch with other people as well. We've got local TV like KMTV. They'll come along and they'll happily do a little feature about your show if it's got some public interest. If there's something about your show that goes, actually, that's really interesting, people need to know about it, they'll be here, they'll talk about it. So the important thing is that you know what you've got to offer. That's why writing down those USPs, those SSPs, unique selling points, strong selling points, means that you can communicate really easily with people who have got a lot of decisions to make about if they're going to spend their time on you.
So you've got the reviewers there. From an act's perspective, who else would it benefit them having in the audience to see their debut at Medfringe?
Anybody that is looking to take their show further has the opportunity to invite somebody from those other places that they want to be, those other destinations that they're going for. It's a great opportunity to go, I'm thinking about doing your Fringe. It may be that there's a venue that's much larger and there's a next step for you. You can be inviting bookers from that venue and saying, come and see my work. It's really good. It's worth seeing, but I need you to come and see it because I can't afford to hire your venue, but you can see it and see that my work is worth you investing in for something in the future. So thinking about your path, and I've said this through a lot of the podcasts, know where you want to go, know where the destination is, or at least the next step. And you can be inviting people from that next step to the now so that they can give you that hand up that you're really looking for.
Maybe a manager who you would like to sign with.
Got it. Managers, agents, bookers, all of these people are open to being invited. So send out 30 invites. The worst that can happen is that one of them says yes. Then you're one step ahead. So, there's absolutely no harm in reaching out and saying, come and see this. So think about what you want to achieve. Find where those people are. There are so many lists online. There are so many things that you can look at now. But of course, the other thing to do is talk to other people by looking at those people that are in your closest circles that are succeeding and going, that person has got something I want a flavor of that. Have a chat with them. Say, who got you there? Because quite often the answer is they got themselves there by inviting certain people. And find out who they invited and ask, do you mind if I invite them to my show? Or even better, since you're working with them, can you drop them that invite and invite them to that show? It's also really important when working with the people that you know and the people around you that you tell them how important those new relationships are to you. Let them know that, I'm desperate to build, I'm desperate to be in this next place. I've got all of this behind me and I'm ready for that next step. It would mean a huge amount to me if you could bring that person with you. People are really willing to help each other out, especially if they're on that step, because they remember being in that step, wanting that hand up. So always, always be willing to ask that question. It's something I know I've alluded to already, but quite often at fringe festivals, people say you never know who you're sat next to in the bar. And it's absolutely true. We have a diverse range of cultural leaders in Medway, and they are everywhere. And if you know the faces you're looking out for, you'll realize that it's very rare that you don't look around and realize that person does this and that person does that. You can't walk into the local library without walking past somebody, or you're going through a walk through the town and you'll bump into somebody. And if you know them, you know that they're a person that you want to tell them about your work. And even if you find yourself talking to somebody that is not necessarily in your circle, for example, if you're a comedian and you were to see somebody who's very big in physical theatre, for example, across the bar, and you start up that conversation, just because they're not in your circle of practice doesn't mean that they do not know and are talking with people who are in your circle of practice. Um, there are so many cultural events already happening in Medway where we do get together across disciplines and talk to each other. And if I've just had a conversation with somebody last week about something that they're planning, and I'm now talking to somebody who's in their world, by all means, I'm going to go, you really should be talking to Joe Bloggs, who I met last night in the pub, who told me all about this. And we're all happy to make connection.
And it's not knowing what step you're going to take next without that leap of faith, I suppose. When you say about making connections, you never know which bit of the jigsaw puzzle someone you meet randomly at a gig, whether they come to see you or you've met them at the Fringe or they know another act that you're working with. It's all making those connections and looking around to see where your next step might be.
Yeah, it takes a while to lay a foundation and a network of support. The fringe festivals are the best place for it because it's where everybody's getting together in the same arena and we're all having those discussions day in, day out. So it's a place where those relationships can develop, they can grow. And it means that although right now it may feel like that was an insignificant conversation there and an insignificant conversation over there, 2-3 years down the line, those seeds have developed and we find ourselves with much stronger connections. And then once you've got those connections, you'll be surprised how often they reconnect. It's really good to see. But planting the foundation, planting the seeds early is really important. And the biggest step for making that happen for yourself is sharing the importance of it to you, telling people, I'd really like to be introduced to that person. Guess what? Actually, I know them. I'll take you there. Let's shake their hands now and exchange numbers, that kind of thing. It starts early. Don't be afraid of having those conversations. It's one of those things that after your performance, it's very tempting to then hit the bar and have a few and get a bit merry. But actually, quite often, maybe you want to hit the bar and have a lemonade and think about who's around and who has just seen your performance before you really let your hair down. Because those people that are investing in you are going to want to invest in the whole you, not just the 1 hour that you're stood up there performing your heart out. So, when you come off stage, if you are having a few too many and starting a pub brawl, you're not going to be the kind of person that somebody is going to want to invest in.
I think that's what the phrase working the room means. Make sure that when you're out there enjoying yourself, you've also had those conversations that might be useful to you in your back pocket at some point in the future. Because you have referenced a couple of times on this podcast that the people who are going to get the most success out of Medfringe are those who have already thought through where their destination is and thought about the post-fringe, what they're going to be getting up to then and what they want out of it.
Absolutely. Beyond Medfringe, there is so much. Of course, we have Medfringe 2027, and you're all going to sign up to do another year. But we are absolutely aware that that isn't necessarily the destination for most people. A lot of people come to Fringes hoping to be signed, hoping for their work to be picked up by somebody else. And hoping is one thing, planning is another. Don't just hope for it to happen, plan for it to happen, reach out for it to happen, and make those invitations. Knowing where you're going sets the tone for what you do now, and aim to be at that next level by the end of the Fringe. Come with one goal, next level by the end of the Fringe. It's wonderful to see people at a Fringe make success. I'll never forget the first time I was working with a very small company. It was just one actor, one director, and we were working in the smallest venue in the basement. Sorry, the smallest theatre space in the venue of our basement. So it was 25 seats. They came with a brand new script, brand new piece, and they were dead passionate about it. And they reached out to everybody. They left no stone unturned. And at the end of the festival, they won 2 awards. And it was absolutely beautiful to see a piece that was so raw, but that was so cared about and so passionately delivered that it got some huge accolade. The following year, they ended up playing in the 150 seat space in the same venue and did a huge success there. If you've got your destination, you can get there.
And I suppose it must help her now if they do have in their back pocket after the Fringe a successful recording of that they can then stream and can use on their own PR. It kind of feeds on. It doesn't end on the 19th of July.
So we are moving so much now to digital media forms. And there is the debate of is it killing in-person and live performance? I don't think it is. There are so many people now that do want recordings of their performance. And why not get that at Medfringe? Because then you can use snippets of that in the future Fringes you go to. Obviously, you don't want to record your whole show and put it out there on YouTube because then nobody's got a reason to come and see you. But a couple of little snippets that say, this is interesting comedy, you're going to want to see it, certainly goes a long way. And we're all sharing things across social media in a way that your work can get significantly further reach than you could just with the room in front of you. And it's a double-edged sword because does that then become diluted? Of course it does, and maybe you end up attracting an audience that doesn't quite understand exactly what you've got to offer. But having the audience in the room is a good start, and we can't go anywhere if we've got no audience in the room.
Those little teasers, those little snippets that you then choose to share could be the thing that entices that next audience member into the auditorium who love you and happens to be connected to that next big step on your career.
And anybody who's been on the Medfringe socials will see that any of those snippets that we've been sent by any of our performers, we are sharing them right across all of the Medfringe stuff. So if you're a performer coming to Medfringe and you've made loads of content to entice people to your show, share it with me. I will share it very willingly across our social media.
Keep tagging at Medfringe. That's what we need.
That's it.
Ron, it's been so interesting to talk to you, and I hope when people do look back at this and the other podcast episodes we've done, they really do feel that you are there with your expertise, guiding them through this inaugural Medfringe.
But we definitely will put people in touch. If you know what you're asking for, we'll be able to put you in touch with people to be able to ask those questions and say, hey, this is my idea. How about you come and see it and you support me for the next step?
So, Ron, hit us with all those handles that we need to know.
The handle's really easy for this festival. It's just at Medfringe. Can't really get that wrong. It's at Medfringe Insta on Instagram. But yes, follow us on all the social media, link with us, tag us. It's a great way of being able to share your work further. It's a great way of being able to connect with other people who will be at Medfringe. We will see you there.